take a look at problem number 4. We're given a problem here that talks about campgrounds and backcountry. And they're telling you campgrounds have this equation and your backcountry have that equation. How do you add those two equations together to get your answer? What you need to do is line each of the corresponding units together to look like this. Negative 7.1 x squared minus 180 x plus 5,800. This equation, you want to make sure you line up the units underneath the corresponding unit. For example, 21x squared go under 21x squared. Minus 140x minus 140x. Lining up the units together. Plus 1,900. And then you would add those equations together. I add these two together, I get 7,700. Adding the other two together, I would get next 320. Then we have 9x squared, and we have these two added together would give me 13.9x squared. So the way you add up polynomials is to line them up by their units, and then add them together. Let's take a look at the got it number 4 problem. If you're given any problem like this, I'm talking about carrots and celery and broccoli, what would you do to add these two equations together? First, let's take our first equation on top. Write that as 12x to the third power plus 106x squared minus 241x plus 4,477. Now, let's write down our second equation. Remember, we need to line up our numbers according to the units. So let's take a look. 14x squared, that would go under 106x squared. We have our minus 14x, which would write it down underneath minus 14x. And then we're left with 1,545 as our last number. I'd write that plus 1,545. And I'll add those two together. When I'm adding these up, I would look at the negative 12x to the third power. There is nothing underneath there, so I would just bring down 12x to the third power. 106x squared plus 14x squared gives me x squared, carry it up there, to 120. negative 14x. That gives me negative x. 4 plus 1 would be 5. Again, 4 plus 1 would be 5. And bring down the 2. And then we end up with the final. Adding these two numbers together. 5, 2, 1, 4 plus 7 is 11, gives me 12, carry 1 up there, 5 and 4 is 9, makes it 10, and the final answer would be negative 12x to the third power plus 120x squared minus 250x plus 6,022. Let's take a look at problem number 5, subtracting polynomials. How do I do this problem? Again, I want to line up my units on top of each other. So we rewrite this as x to the third power minus 3x squared plus 5x. Notice that there's a minus sign outside of the parentheses. What do I have to do with that minus sign? I have to distribute that with each one of those numbers inside the parentheses when I write that down. So I'm going to write it down as negative 1 times 7 is negative 7x to the third power. Negative times the 5x squared is minus 5x squared minus a negative 1 times a negative 12 is a positive 12. But are all those lined up correctly in the right exponent order? There's 3 numbers, 3 on top, but what's out of place in this problem? That's correct. Plus 12 does not have an x, so it does not go there. So since there's not an x there, so you don't get confused, just add plus 0 because there's not an x there, then add the plus 12 at the end. So what do you just do? You take the negative 1 on the outside right here and multiply it with every number inside, and that turned the negative 7x to the third power to a minus 7x to the third power. Change the 5x squared to a negative 5x squared. We inserted a 0 here because it was not an x, and we put the 12 on the outside. We had the negative 12 at the beginning. We changed it to a positive 12 down here. So now we can add our equations together. Now that we multiply the negative on the outside, now we can just add these two numbers together. There's an invisible one right here. So we have 1 plus negative 7 is negative 6x to the third power. We have a negative 3x squared plus negative 5x squared to give me negative 8x squared. 5x plus 0 just gives me 5x. There's not a number up here, so this is actually plus 0. So 0 plus 12 equals 12. The final answer is that. So I can take a subtracting polynomials, and when I distribute the negative sign outside, it actually turns into an addition problem. Let's take a look at got it problem number 5. What's another way that we can do this problem? means I have to do what with this 1? That's right, we have to distribute that in each of the numbers inside the parentheses. So when I rewrite this, I have to write the first one, negative 4n to the third power minus n plus 9. And when I multiply the negative 1 with the other number, I get negative 1 times 4n squared is negative 4n squared. Notice that there is not 4n squared in that problem. So I need to rewrite this a little differently, leaving a space on 0 for what is that in both problems. So negative 4n to the third power plus 0 minus n plus 9. So when I insert my other numbers, I will have negative 4n squared. Negative 1 times n is a minus n. Negative 1 times negative 12 is a positive 12. So when I add these two together, I'm going to get negative 4 n to the third power minus 4 n squared. Negative n plus negative n is negative 2n plus 9 plus 12 is 21. So in this problem, we have to make sure that our units line up together. And our n to the third power lines up underneath the number over here, which there's no n to the third power. Negative n, 4n to the second power lines up under that unit. And then the n's and the numbers line up at the end. You get your final answer. Negative 4n to the third power minus 4n squared minus 2n plus 21.